It's a storyline you simply can't ignore,
This game is not about me.
no matter how hard you try.
It's not about me.
In all honesty, though, it would be wrong not to acknowledge it. 6 years ago, Chris Petersen traded in his blue and orange for purple and gold. But during his time in the City of Trees, he helped build Boise State football into a national power. Today in Las Vegas, Coach Pete will roam the sidelines for one final time.
Not that I'm totally retired.
In an all-too-fitting end,
We go back, we have history.
the mentor will take on his apprentice.
Very humble to have been a part of the staff at Boise State during that time.
If Coach Pete is considered one of the creators of the Bronco brand, Brian Harsin has certainly helped innovate it.
Yeah, I think it's been great. It's hard to win at a high level consistently, and I think that says it all.
As far as the difference between those two titles,
It's not the same old, same old. Every year I can't stand that mindset.
the innovator is tasked with living up to the expectations of the creator, all while pushing Bronco football forward and making it better than ever before. On that note, Brian Harsin has made one thing clear over the last month.
I think we have a brand here that it's not like everybody else.
He's ready to fight for his program.
I don't know if there's a lot of other people that bleed blue as much as I do. And, you know, that's important.
Tonight in Las Vegas, Harsin will get a chance to do just that. It's Boise State and Washington in the 2019 Las Vegas Bowl. The final Bronco Roundup Game Day show of the season starts now.
Now, a special presentation from the KTVB Newsroom. Bronco Roundup Game Day starts now.
Hang on, just a second. Welcome live inside Sam Boyd Stadium here in Henderson, Nevada. It is time to go bowling here on the Bronco Roundup Game Day show. Jay Tuss alongside Will Hall, and Buster, of course, is ready for some action tonight. The Boise State football team and Buster taking on the Huskies from the University of Washington. Going to be a great matchup, though. An exciting game that we've been looking forward to for well over a couple weeks now.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It feels like we've been down here in Las Vegas all month long. It's only been, give or take, 5 days down here, but it is finally game day. Thank goodness. Cannot wait. The final one of the season. Buster, you ready to roll? He's ready to roll, as always.
One thing about this matchup that is so intriguing, without further explanation, Chris Petersen wrapping up his career at the University of Washington today, and he's doing so against a program that he led to national prominence. Earlier this week, we had the chance to catch up with both of them at the initial kickoff press conference.
No shortage of storylines in this one tonight as Coach Pete goes against the former program that he helped build up in Boise State. Now, earlier at that kickoff meeting, we saw Coach Harsin and Coach Petersen embrace, two very close friends. It was great to see and easy to see the respect and admiration each one has for each other.
Take a listen.
When you're around really, really good people, I think it's pretty easy to see, and if you have some awareness, you pay attention to that. I've always respected Pete as the highest character. I've always respected the developmental piece that he brought to the staff, because you're always getting better. And that's one of the things, like the details, the standards, the everyday, finding ways to improve, doing it the right way, always doing it the right way. Those type of things are what stood out to me.
Those words, I believe, stick out to a lot of people when talking about Chris Petersen. You know, Will, it's really crazy how full circle this thing really has came, because in Chris Petersen's final bowl game at Boise State, he played the University of Washington here in Las Vegas. Now, in his final bowl game at the University of Washington, he plays Boise State in Las Vegas.
And as Coach Pete alluded to several times this week, of course, a lot of people on the outside want to focus this storyline on this being his final game as head coach at Washington. Of course, Coach Pete wants nothing to do with that storyline.
Chris Petersen hates talking about himself. One thing he does enjoy talking about, though, to this very day, is the City of Trees. 6 years ago, Coach Pete moved up to Seattle, and despite the fact that Seattle and Boise are two very different cities, they do have a lot of similarities when it comes to football programs.
I mean, there's a lot of similarities. You know, I think both are like great places. I mean, the people that we've had a chance to meet, the fan bases are super passionate. I mean, all those type of things, the difference that those universities make in their communities, all that stuff is really, really the same. And I just feel like we've been really blessed to be a part of both places.
Do you escape back to Idaho at all, or are there parts of that place that you enjoy?
Oh, I love it. I love Idaho. You know, I love Boise, and we have a ton of friends there. We have family there, and so I'll always be connected to Boise. And I think we're so blessed because Boise and Seattle couldn't be more different in a lot of ways, and they're awesome. You know, when you spend time in one place, you get so used to it and so comfortable, and you go to the other place and you're like I don't know if I fit. And then you're there a week or so and you adjust, and then you don't think so it's been a really awesome combination and experience for us to go back and forth. And what we've really come to know is they're really great places because of the people.
You know, I can relate to Coach Pete just a little bit, but I did the opposite of what he did. I started off in Seattle, then moved to Boise. Personally, I like my route more than his. And if you want to talk about going somewhere and getting uncomfortable, just go sit in some Seattle traffic for a little while. Watch that blood pressure spike.
I-5 traffic. No, thank you. Absolutely not. You know, I was thinking all week long, I wonder how Bronco Nation feels leading into this matchup, because they all love, respect, adore Coach Chris Peterson. I was trying to find a similarity to my own life, and all I can think of is Fred Hoiberg. He's loved, he's adored at Iowa State. Used to be their star basketball player, and then he was their star head coach. Now he's the head coach at Nebraska. It would be like Iowa State playing Nebraska in basketball.
There's a cliche that Boise State football players have used ever since I have covered the program. It's just another game. Now the alumni are willing to admit this is not just another game.
If there's one person in the world that I respect the most, it's definitely by far Coach Pete. You know, he's like a father to me.
I tell a lot of people he's kind of like a father figure to a lot of these players.
I see him more as a father figure than a coach. It's just the things that he preached to us. It wasn't always about football.
Coach Pete, for me personally, was an awesome mentor, an amazing leader, and somebody who you kind of want to emulate yourself after.
That guy's changed my whole life. In high school, I didn't even know what Boise State was. He brought me up here, and I just fell in love with the city, the culture here. He legit cares about every single person, and it's all genuine. You know, he's just taught me everything I know pretty much.
It just goes to show you what kind of person Coach Peterson really was. Obviously, he wanted you to be successful, not only on the football field, but within the classroom, but also within life as well.
Am I torn on who to root for in this matchup?
Am I conflicted with this specific matchup? No.
I'm not.
Coach Pete and staff, love you guys, but going with the Broncos on this one.
The way I view it is, I'm not rooting against Coach Pete, but I am rooting for Boise State.
Right here, bleeding blue, Boise State all the way.
I think Coach Pete would want me to root for Boise State. Played here, a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of effort. I bleed blue. That's who I am. That's what Coach Pete wanted us to do. I still do. So I'm all Broncos on this one.
Man, I love this. The alumni are truly conflicted. I know that they're saying they're bleeding blue, but you can see that Coach Pete still has a place in their hearts. Joining us now is the executive director of the Las Vegas Bowl. We're going to add to your title, the evil genius that created this matchup. How long did it take you to realize that you could arrange this thing and potentially host a game that would feature Chris Peterson against a school that he once led to national prominence, John?
Well, first of all, a lot of things had to happen to get into this position. I can tell you, though, about 3 or 4 weeks before the season ended, we were trying to track what was going to happen. And when we thought about the possibility of this matchup, everybody got really excited and was anxious to try to pull it off. Again, a lot had to happen. Utah losing the Pac-12 tournament, and Washington State losing to Washington. So everything fell into place. The stars were aligned, and we were excited about it.
Yeah.
John, you look at this matchup tonight, ABC, prime time, under the lights, You got Boise State 12-1, Washington 7-5. Can you top this matchup?
No, I don't think we can. And listen, don't let Washington's record fool you either. That 7-5 record, they lost 4 games by 6 points or less, including a 1-point loss, a 3-point loss, loss to Oregon and Utah, which are the 2 best teams. That's a good football team. A couple plays here and there, and they have 9 or 10 wins. So we're totally excited. I'm just hoping I'd like a 49-48 shootout. Somebody wins it. Let's get the ratings up and have a great game.
Of course, you want that. A showman down here in Las Vegas. By the way, you do have to put a lot more stock into Washington. Just don't dismiss their 7-5 record. Your buddies down the street that have a whole lot of bright lights in Las Vegas like to empty a lot of pockets on amongst the visitors that come here. They have the Huskies as a favorite in this game, so that says everything you need to know about this matchup. What has Boise State meant to this bowl game? And as I wipe a tear away from my eye, it's a final goodbye here in Las Vegas.
It is our last game here at Sam Boyd Stadium. Boise's been tremendous. There's 2 programs that have helped shape this bowl game and made it what it is today. It started with BYU. BYU, tremendous support over the years, traveling to this game. When BYU left the conference, Boise became our new sweetheart team and has done so much for this game. We wouldn't be in the position that we're in today. We wouldn't have the opportunity to grow the game and to move into that new stadium without being able to prove what we were able to do. And Boise, gets a lot of credit for that.
Speaking of that new stadium, I know it's a tough one tonight. This is your final Las Vegas Bowl inside Sam Boyd Stadium, but how excited are you guys to move into the new Raiders facility?
You have no idea. I did 5 years of college here, including an 0-11 season in college. I did 1 year with the XFL, and I've done 18 bowl games here. I'm pretty much done with this place. I'm ready. We're getting really excited. The Raiders are all here. They've been great partners. They got some renderings of the stadium out there, and we were all kind of telling stories and already starting to plan things for next year about how much bigger and better things can be. And again, we're going to have the greatest venue in the world moving into next year. So it's going to be awesome. And it'll be climate control. So we'll be indoors and it'll be 72 degrees. This is nothing for you guys, but we're a little chilly.
Plus, save on gas mileage too, right? I mean, the trip out to Henderson, the new stadium's a stone's throw away from the Strip. It's going to be awesome. John, seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, it's been an awesome ride. I'm sad we got to say goodbye. Hopefully you can find a way to get Boise State into one of your bowl games down the road, and we can do this again.
Well, you guys have been tremendous for us. You're always out here supporting the game and helping to tell the story, so thank you. You guys have become good friends over the years. Commissioner Thompson actually invited me back to the Mountain West Championship next year to be his guest, so right. I may see you again anyway.
There you go. Let's just go ahead and count on it. John, thank you so much. We know you're a busy man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
John Sassenti, the executive director of the Las Vegas Bowl. It's been a fun ride, John. All right, moving along, we're going to talk about some of the festivities that John lined up this week.
We have had a lot of fun down here in Las Vegas. I think our favorite night, you had to go back to Thursday night.
Yeah.
We were over at the Luxor Hotel checking out their state-of-the-art esports facility, gaming with the Broncos.
This thing was awesome. Now, it began with 3 12-player heats of Mario Kart. The winner from each of those heats would advance and face off in the finals. Khalil Shakir, Chase Cord, along with Joel Velasquez would advance to the championship.
In the championship round, it was the punter, Joel Velasquez. He ends up winning it. Now, we caught up with Kekala Kaniho about that night. He said events like those are what bowl week so special.
I think just like this stuff, the activities, the experiences, just making more memories with, your teammates, especially the seniors, having those last practices with them and just being able to hang out and make memories and do things like this.
Are there bragging rights on the line today?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're going to talk about it a lot after this, I bet, yeah.
That was a heck of an event. An awesome event, and one thing about it, they also had their prizes given to them. All the players get bowl prizes, some pretty cool stuff that they got to choose from. I know that I think Zeke Noah went with this awesome sound bar for his setup at home.
His bowl gift.
Yeah.
You could have brought home
That's what I meant,
recliner.
Yeah.
But
that was all 6 points. That's all you got.
Yeah.
You could divvy it up, get a watch, cologne, maybe a little Google Home, something like that. But back to the video games.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I don't know how many people take video games too seriously, but for Boise State stud Sam Whitney, it's as real as it gets when it comes to football for him this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam is currently rehabbing. He's dealing with a season-ending injury. To help kill the time, Besides rehabbing in school and working out, trying to get healthy, what does he do? Fills a lot of that time playing video games, especially NCAA football.
I beat you on blacktop all the time. They actually won't play me because I beat them all the time in NBA.
Sit around. How many hours, quote unquote, wasted?
The most was probably after surgery, to be honest. I play NCAA 12 on Xbox all the time.
Still?
Yeah, it got me through my surgery, so that's why. I would just sit on my couch and play it all day. I made myself on the D-line. So I've been playing as myself since I can't play.
Okay.
I created a couple players. So we got me, Curtis Weaver, Happel, and Achillian Butler. AK's back-to-back Heisman's right now. We'll do the hit stick and get the ball back. I'm blitzing Young right here. Oh no, it's all bad. Come on, Earl. Nope, play-by-play, I give up a touchdown. All right, don't worry though, we'll be good. All right, let's go. We gotta get another side. Oh, I'll score first play, check this out.
Okay, does it help in rehab?
Playing video games?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, takes your mind away from it?
Yeah, definitely. And I get to play football.
Yeah, amen.
Get you a live look at the field now, from video games to the real game. Jalen Henderson warming up on the sideline earlier this week. He missed a couple of practices due to an illness.
He's out here on the field with the rest of the Boise State quarterbacks, taking part in pregame warm-ups as we inch closer and closer to kickoff.
Yeah, Hank Bachmeyer, Chase Corder, both out there. We'll continue to monitor this throughout the Bronco Roundup Game Day show. We still have more to come. Question marks linger around Ezra Cleveland along with Curtis Weaver. Will they come back for their senior years, or will they leave early and follow in the footsteps of guys like Alexander Madison and Leighton Vander Esch and declare for the NFL draft? We're going to hear from both Cleveland and Weaver next.
In the meantime, though, check out Boise State making a few conference rooms feel like a $22 million Blameyer football complex while prepping for this game on the road. We take you inside the Hard Rock Hotel this week.
The walk over here from the rooms is definitely rough in the morning. You know, your offensive linemen don't like to walk.
It's definitely different, but everyone has their own meeting room, which is nice.
Definitely the locker room is better.
2 years ago, we were in a room over there, I believe.
They put us in our defensive meeting room last time for the locker room. We're taking notes while pads are at our feet.
The locker room here is a lot better than that room. It's really spacious, you know, not bumping elbows with anyone. It's pretty nice.
Shout out to Dale and them for changing the locker room.
It feels like we're back at our facility, but shoot, it's fun.
You got to be physical playing Ezra's position.
Yeah, Ezra, he's a special player, and it's fun playing next to him.
Honestly, I can always depend on him. He's a great player.
Consistency's key, and that's what I strive for.
You're not worried about what he's doing. You're just worried about doing your job, because you know at the end of the day that he's got your back.
I can always run to the side. Definitely, I have no worries on anything.
I mean, just knowing that he's going to go out there and give 100% effort and not let nobody sack the quarterback, then that helped me go out there and run a better route so that the quarterback will throw a great pass and then we go out there and score.
I definitely feel good right now.
Definitely can't wait to see him play later on.
You know if this is your final game as a Bronco yet? We'll see. We'll see. We're not sure yet. We'll just focus on the bowl game right now. So.
Man, a big question mark hanging over the head of Ezra Cleveland. Will he declare early for the NFL draft or return for a senior season? Either way, one of the best offensive linemen recently come through the Boise State football program.
So if that's the $1 million question, will this be Ezra Cleveland's final game in a Bronco uniform? The $2 million question,
right?
Since we are in Vegas and we're talking money, will this be Curtis Weaver's final game in a Bronco uniform?
13.5 sacks this year, tops in the Mountain West. He is the active career leader in career sacks across the entire country. He has had an unbelievable season, an even better year, career that is. And Will, if you wanted to avoid distractions, what would you do?
I would delay my decision until after the bowl game.
Wrong.
Oh.
You have Mom take care of it like Curtis did. Take a listen.
My mom shut that down in the beginning of the season. Like, I would get text messages, but she shut that down, made a group text message with literally like 100 people in it, and said no more texting Curtis. That's how it went. Those guys in the NFL business, they do what they do. They're paid and they're the top of their game. I idolize Lawrence Taylor's mentality. I'm not saying I'm the player like him, but when he stepped on the field, people knew what he was about.
He's very productive. I mean, his stats speak for it. He plays sound defense. He's never out of his gap. He knows his assignments. He's a technician. He's really good with his hands, and he's always moving, always scratching and clawing at the last minute of a play to make a play. So, you know, it's gonna be important for us to strain and be consistent up front.
It just goes back to the team keeping you level-headed. They're your brothers. When you go out on the field and then you look at David Moa and he tells you he believes in you, and then you look back and then you see Kekoa and he says, I got you. It just goes to show you playing for your brother to the left and right, and they got your back like I got their back.
You know that guy that you heard from at the podium, by the way? That's Nick Harris. He's the starting center for the University of Washington, an all Pac-12 conference caliber player. The offensive line could not praise the efforts and what Curtis Weaver has done this season more than he did.
And how about the stage for Curtis Weaver? If this is his final game in a Bronco uniform, he has a big stage playing on ABC in prime time under the lights in a bowl game, a big stage to show off his skill set. One thing to watch for, just 1 sack in his last 4 games, big stage, big opportunity, going up against a depleted offensive line from Washington. That's without their best starting offensive lineman, Trey Adams. He's sitting this game out. Big opportunity for 99.
In 2017, Leighton Vander Esch was in a very similar spot as Curtis Weaver. Defensive Player of the Year in the Mountain West, huge numbers, came to Las Vegas. Leighton put on a show, turned himself into a first-round draft pick. Curtis Weaver is going to have that opportunity to get after the quarterback today. We'll tell you why a little bit later on when it comes to our roadmap to victory. In the meantime, as long as we're talking about guys that might be coming and going, there is one member of the coaching staff that is already out the door.
Yeah, former Boise State offensive coordinator Zach Hill taking the same position at Arizona State. He'll join the Bronco staff back in January of 2016. He helped lead offenses that averaged at least 32 points per game in all 4 seasons as Boise State's offensive coordinator. This year, he'll help lead a Boise State offense to a 12-1 record while starting 3 different starting quarterbacks. Coach Harsin very appreciative of all that Hill has done with the Broncos program.
Obviously, he did some really good things here, and was a guy that I know he bleeds blue, and this is an opportunity for him, and you know, we're proud of what he did here. And the quarterback position, you know, I'll help in that room, and then you know the other offensive coaches will kind of pick up the slack. I mean, certainly we can figure the play calling out, and kind of like we've done before. I mean, everybody's a little bit involved in that. I know from being in that position, you know, where when you make a change, if you're trying to stay, how difficult that can be. So that was a decision that I felt was the right one, and you know, I think that's the right thing for our staff. I think it's the right thing for our team. And
you know, you feel like Zach Hill took an opportunity that he felt is a good opportunity. Now he moves on to the Pac-12. In terms of how that impacts today's game, Zach Hill, a wonderful, talented mind, but if Boise State has anybody that can fill in those shoes for at least one game, they have the right guy, and it's Brian Harsin. He's called plays a number of times throughout his career, including Zach Hill's first year as the offensive coordinator at Boise State.
A number of times, to say the least. He will likely have a heavy hand in the Broncos play calling tonight against Washington.
And one thing about it, too, we saw him out at practice earlier this week. He's working more with the quarterbacks. I don't know if I've ever seen him happier. He loves this stuff. The X's and O's, diving in with the quarterbacks and figuring things out. So I would anticipate, as Will said, he will be heavily involved in the play calling tonight. How about this? Earlier this week, a nice little feel-good story for you that happens down here at Bowl Week in Las Vegas.
Both teams going against one another tonight, but earlier in the week, they were teaming up on the same team. They joined folks from the Goody Two Shoes Foundation, popular restaurant chain, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, and Mitsubishi Motors to help kids in need this holiday season. During the distribution event earlier this week at a local elementary school, more than 800 underprivileged children receive new shoes and socks as well as new toys. Players from both teams help distribute the shoes and supplies as well as participate in a football drill course with the kids.
We're out here helping out the kids, helping out the Goody Two Shoes Foundation here in Las Vegas, Nevada. There's a whole bunch of cool activities. Right now we're just doing some swag stuff, I guess is what they call it. Signing some stuff, shaking some hands, meeting some kids, giving out some shoes, and they even got a little football station somewhere over there too. Fortunately, Boise State's been in this area a good amount, and so it's been pretty cool. A lot of people know a lot of our teammates, and they recognize the logo and everything like that. A lot of people bleed blue, so it's been a pretty good time for sure.
All right, welcome back live to the Bronco Roundup Game Day Show. Taking care of a little bit of breaking news here. Sonatane Louis is out tonight. We were initially informed that he's not here, but well, we actually just saw him over there dressed in street clothes. The reasons we were given personal reasons. So Boise State will be without one of their stud defensive linemen tonight against Washington.
Louis was the defensive MVP in the Mountain West Championship game. If I had to guess, and JT had to guess, we will see a lot more of big scale Igahan in the middle of that Broncos defensive line tonight.
Yeah, also one other note, DeAndre Pierce continues to be sidelined with an injury. The Broncos won't have him this evening. We'll continue to monitor the quarterback situation. In the meantime, after the break, we take you all the way to South Africa to show you just how far Bronco Nation stretches, and we'll check in with Boise State Athletic Director Kurt Apsey. In the meantime, we send you to break with the sights and sounds of last night's pep rally over at Fremont Street.
So I'm assuming you guys are here for the pep rally.
A little bit, yes. Go Broncos.
Welcome to the 2019 Mitsubishi Motors Las Vegas Bowl Pep Rally. Welcome to Fremont Street Experience. And it is truly my honor to showcase tonight two of the absolute greatest bands in college football. No question about it.
And be loud all game long. Bronco Nation! Bronco Nation, thanks for coming out. Bring that energy tomorrow, please. We need it, baby.
How's Bronco Nation? Paul Fent here, all the way from sunny South Africa.
How's it? My name is Clifton Struble, also all the way from South Africa.
Most of you, as you would wonder, why would we be watching Bronco football in a country that is roughly about 33 hours worth of flying away from Boise? And on top of that, we are 9 hours ahead of you guys. So yes, when you guys complain of a game that starts at 9 o'clock at night, we are actually waking up either 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, depending where we're playing, to watch our beloved Broncos. The reason why I started watching Bronco football roughly in about 2013, scrolled through some ESPN channels and came across the Blue Turf. And I was wondering what was going on with this team. It's a white team and it's a blue team. And the blue team, as they would say, you know, they camouflaged into the field. But as I started to get to know and understand the game of football, I realized there's only one team that we should be supporting, and that is our Boise State Broncos. On that note, go Broncos!
How about that? Bronco Nation truly stretches halfway across the world, all the way to South Africa. The brand is apparently strong, Kurt.
You just told me that at 4 or 5 in the morning. That guy gets up every day. Maybe we should start kicking at 4 or 5 in the morning. breakfast with the Broncos. Let's do that.
And that would be like, I don't know, 1 or 2 in the afternoon for him. So I'm sure that Paul would appreciate it. Kurt Apsey, the Director of Athletics, joins us now on the Bronco Roundup Game Day Show. Kurt, how does it feel to be back in Las Vegas on this stage? I know that everybody wanted a New Year's 6 games this year, but this is a pretty cool matchup on a very big stage, ABC for that matter.
Well, it's a great, it's obviously being a part of ABC for a big game against a really good opponent, obviously, and our team's had a great season, and you know, it would have been nice to have something a little bit bigger, but we've always been successful in Las Vegas. They do an unbelievable job with this bowl game. I know our guys are fired up and looking forward to it.
We've seen a lot of Bronco Nation traveling down here. What are you expecting ticket-wise?
We had about, I think, 5,000 out just on our side. So, you know, the Nation always surprises me. Every time I say like 7 or 8, it's like 9 or 10. So, I don't know. It looks like it's filling up on the blue and orange side right now. They'll be loud like they always are, and you know, we're going to need them tonight for sure.
They also kind of act like moths to the bright lights of Las Vegas at times. You know what I mean? They love it here. And I know that a lot of players' families appreciate they get the short trip over here. You know, Kurt, there's been a lot of talk over the last week or so. Brian Harsin being very adamant who wants to continue to attack the future and grow the program. And one thing he brought up is the potential stadium renovation. And from the sounds of it, there is some progress being made there.
Well, there's always been progress. Yes. I mean, we've been talking about this for about 18 months now. And so we're very close to having some information that we're comfortable sending out. You're going to see that probably over the next 30 days or so. You know, more specifically to our season ticket holders that, you know, are going to be affected by some of the changes. And but we still have to raise the money. We've still got to seek the interest in the people that want to buy the seats. We've still got to get approval from the state board. I mean, you guys know all the things that we have to go through, but we're ready, and I'm excited about it. And you know, the timing obviously doesn't hurt with Brian, you know, sort of talking about some of the things he'd like to see change here. But you know, that certainly wasn't the reason that we started to get close. We've been working on this for a while, but you know, the timing's perfect. We're 12-1, hopefully 13-1 after this year. We have some great home schedules coming up, so the timing is right in a project that's been needed for a long time, so I'm excited about it.
Kurt, we'll keep you short tonight.
Yeah.
Enjoy the game. Thanks so much for
I'll
your
say
time.
this too, Kurt. I know that Brian Harsin says few people bleed blue like he does. We know you're one of them. We look forward to it. We appreciate you joining us on the pregame show this year, Kurt.
Thanks, Kurt.
Yeah. All right, give you a live look at the guys warming up on the field, some of them exiting the field right now as we get a little closer to kickoff. I know fans are excited for this matchup. They're also excited for signing day and the thought of maybe cheering on a local product on the blue one day very soon.
It feels pretty good because, I mean, like I said, I've been to Boise State games since I was like 5. So, I mean, finally signing and being able to play my dream by playing on the blue field is kind of a big deal. I mean, even my room's painted blue and orange with blue and orange stickers all over it. So, I mean, I think it's been a sign since I've painted my room. So, it's a pretty good feeling to finally be playing on the turf, the blue turf.
Well, how about that? A long time coming for Bora High senior Austin Volt. He is officially a Boise State Bronco.
Oh, and besides you and I know we are thrilled to be able to cover Austin for another 4 years. The only one more excited than us, John Anderson, who's watching at home in his living room right now. Hey, John, great to see you. It is going to be awesome to be able to continue covering Austin Volt, a big get for this Broncos football program, being able to walk across the street essentially and keep the state's best player home here in Boise.
Yeah, apparently at the last minute too, Wisconsin and Texas Tech entered the recruiting picture. They had yet to offer him, but they wanted Austin to hold off till the later signing period in early February. Austin made up his mind, and his coaches are sure stoked about it.
Volt right down the street.
Yeah, and that was huge.
He's a guy that competes to be the very best he can be.
This is a guy that flat out can play the game. He's the do-it-all guy, and all season long I'm watching all the highlights on TV, and here he is making another play, and it's fourth down or whatever, and he runs for a touchdown.
You factor in the athleticism, and you think about the mismatches and matchups you can work and create, and he's not a guy that's just going to catch a pass. He's going to catch a pass and run and be really tough to tackle.
He's just different. You know, try to compare him to guys we've had in the past. We really don't have guys like him in the past.
That's an exciting guy to have.
What a crazy couple of weeks it has been. The Bronco coaching staff went from prepping for a bowl game to the recruiting trail to signing day on Wednesday and, trying to prep to face Washington here in Vegas.
I know we have been running around this city as well, probably not close to the amount that they have been for practice, you name it, you just went through it. We survived on rock stars and coffee and bubble gum. For them, it's been a lot of coffee.
We have the championship week. We lose a week.
Everyone's got to do their part, man.
Do I spend a little bit of time here, a little bit there?
You were in 10th gear, and then you're like, you got to go to 14th gear. You got to go here, 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 and here. We're going to come back. We're going to practice here and here. We got to fly to Las Vegas. We're going to go play this game. How much sleep am I getting?
Oh man, it's tough.
Not a lot. I can count it on one hand.
Sometimes it's 4 hours. You gotta go.
Averaging about 4, 5.
I'll do coffee in the morning.
Oh man, that's all I drink right now. Coffee and coffee.
I can't do the Red Bulls. I mean, you guys have seen me on the field. Could you imagine if I was on Red Bull? No. It just wouldn't go. It's a loss. But wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
We want to be special and play great on game day, so you do what it takes.
I'm just excited about for the staff and for this game and really to cap off the season that we've had.
Yeah, it's fun. Being in Vegas, obviously, coaching ball, and then just being around the guys, it's fun.
I don't like boredom. And I'll tell you what, this past couple weeks, there's no boredom.
Yeah, certainly not a lot of boredom for anybody that either plays for, coaches, or covers the Broncos recently. You know, in terms of this matchup, one guy that has probably given a lot of defensive coordinators fits, kept them up at night, Washington quarterback Jacob Eason. The Georgia transfer checks in at 6'6", 230 pounds, and he has a big-time arm.
He certainly does. Most confuse his right arm with a rocket launcher.
22 touchdowns, 8 picks. After today, Eason is going to have to make a decision. Is he going to go to the NFL or return to the Huskies for his senior season? Either way, the Bronchies know they have to slow Eason down to have success today.
Bronco Roundup's Roadmap to Victory is brought to you by Project Filter.
He's a dog.
He's a phenomenal quarterback.
He's a pro guy, man. He can throw all the balls.
He's smart. He has a good arm. So we're going to have to be real precise with our technique. I think the biggest thing for us is we just got to get in his face, put pressure on him.
Pressure and confuse any quarterback is the #1 goal for us.
It's going to be a good game, challenging him and trying to confuse him a little bit.
Have players outside and make dudes miss, great on line. And at the end of the day, it's UW under Coach Pete.
Tailback Savon Ahmed. He's rushed for exactly 1,000 yards. He's rushed for exactly 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns this season. A very talented tailback. The junior from Washington has had a great season as a 1-2 punch to that Washington backfield.
Hey, speaking of running backs, Boise State true freshman George Halani is hoping for a blackjack in Las Vegas this evening. Halani has rushed for a team best 979 yards so far this season. That's the second most of all true freshman running backs in the entire country. Now, when you consider that Boise State has had a 1,000-yard rusher in each of the last 10 seasons, the longest streak of its kind, today's power stat is none other than the number 21.
Bronco Roundup's Power Stats brought to you by Idaho Power. You have the power to save.
I know he thinks about it.
Honestly, not getting that 21 yards has been it's been on my mind, but just going out there and doing my job and just trying to play to my best ability.
I'm going to emphasize that, so I'm blue in the face.
Definitely going to get it with a great O-line up front.
It's definitely something we discussed, and you know we're going to try to achieve that on Saturday.
They're always on me, always emphasizing that 21 yards, we can get it. Just coming in as a freshman and just seeing what I can do. That would be nice, just to be a freshman who's coming in and getting 1,000 yards and just doing my job. Definitely an honor.
He's a strong individual, and he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
Hi, my name is Joe York. I'm a lifelong Boise State fan, alumni, and season ticket holder since 2005. I think the unusual part about my story is that I haven't lived in Idaho since 2009. I lived in Salt Lake and then over to Detroit, Michigan, and now in Western Pennsylvania. I still try to make it back for 3 to 4 home games a year and then a road game as well.
One of the difficulties with moving all over is bringing all the gear that I've collected over the years. I'm quite a collector and have my own Bronco room like I imagine most fans do. This is a game-worn Jerron Johnson jersey from, I believe, 2007. And then I have both blue and orange turf samples from the various iterations that have come and gone over the years.
Orange. And my work requires me to travel quite a bit on airplanes, and so it's always awesome when I'm wearing the gear to shout out to Go Broncos when I see others are wearing it. But it's also great conversation. People are always excited to talk about Boise and the blue turf and the legacy of winning that's been established. It's always fun being a Bronco fan. From Western Pennsylvania, go Broncos!
You know, it's not South Africa, but still showing that Bronco Nation stretches almost the entire way across the country. Pretty cool. And by the way, ever since I arranged that little thing with Joel York right there, guess what? He decided to come out to the game. So he's actually somewhere in the stands right now.
Oh, you gotta love
How about that?
Bronco Nation knows no ends.
Yep.
They span the entire globe. It's been fun getting to know members of Bronco Nation over the years. And of course, that includes John Molchon's family.
Yeah, a great family. They're here in attendance tonight. And obviously John grew up in the area, played high school ball just down the road, and well, let's just say he will be very well supported tonight by his family. Recently, we took a trip over to the Molchons to check out some John Molchon memorabilia, I guess. Take a look. Maybe we can take a little walk down the Molchon memory lane.
As he was little, he was very fun, always smiling and laughing. These are some of my favorite pictures of him. Dressed up as a firefighter. He loved getting dressed up. He's gonna kill me. This is one of his pictures. This looks like it was his first black belt. As you could see, he was very proud.
Was football his first love?
No, but he loved watching it on TV with his dad and stuff, but we enrolled him in karate. At first it was like, oh, you know, but then when he put on the outfit, and he did very well with sparring and competitions.
This is his first day as a freshman in high school.
Football.
You look at this boy and you think about the one that you'll see today on the field. What are the thoughts that go through your mind?
Wow, it's remarkable. These 4.5 years, it's been a blessing to see him grow up to be a fine man and take charge and become a leader and help others. There's really no words to express how we feel about our parents.
Actually, John's mom is just over yonder. They're rolling strong again tonight. I tell you, when we went over there, so many people were coming through the door to pick up tickets.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
A lot of them.
Yep.
John, most looking forward to a home-cooked meal, Mama's Alfredo. Now, staying on that offensive line, we saw the Broncos, they're in the locker room right now getting ready for kickoff, which is about 10, 12 minutes away here in Las Vegas. But one thing we watch for quarterbacks, who they take snaps with when it comes to the starting center. Hank Bachmeier was taking snaps in warm-ups with Boise State starting center Garrett Larson. So something to watch for. We're about 10 minutes away from kickoff.
Every week it's held true. The starting quarterback is the first guy to take snaps with the starting center. We'll see if Hank Bachmeier makes his return this evening. In the meantime, though, we toss it over to Tom Scott for tonight's edition of The Scott Slant.
Well, with all the sidebars in today's game, Boise State's bowl resume has been kind of underappreciated. So let's appreciate it. This is the Broncos' 20th all-time bowl berth and their 18th in a row. That's the 5th longest streak in the nation. Boise State is 12-6 in bowl games. Of course, there was no result last year in Dallas. The biggest win was in the 2011 Las Vegas Bowl, a 32-point romp over Arizona State. Biggest loss was 3 years ago in the Cactus Bowl, a 19-point defeat to Baylor. Baylor, a game that has fueled the Broncos since. Now, about that sidebar, let's go in a different direction and celebrate the roles of both Chris Peterson and Brian Harsin at Boise State. It's the Pete Hars Bronco combo. In the 14 seasons they have served as back-to-back head coaches at Boise State, the program has an eye-popping, and my eyes are popping, 156 wins and 28 losses, and has gone 84-7 on the blue turf. There have been 8 conference championships. Bronco Nation has it pretty good. It's trivia time, presented by Nampa Floors and Interiors, sponsor of Kicks for a Cause, again this season with the Broncos. The most famous Pete Hars play in all those years is Circus from the 2007 Fiesta Bowl win over Oklahoma, the best college football game of all time. Which 4 Broncos touched the ball on that iconic game-saving hook and lateral in Glendale, Arizona? 4 Broncos, not 3. Stay here for the answer. I'll have it when we come back on Bronco Roundup Game Day. Welcome back to the final Bronco Roundup Game Day of the season, and here's the answer to Nampa Floors and Interiors trivia. On the world-famous hook and lateral in the Fiesta Bowl, here's the tricky one. Jaden Daly snapped the ball to Jared Zabransky, who threw to Bryson James, who lateraled to Gerard Rabb on the stunning 50-yard touchdown that tied the game. What kind of tricks will we see this evening?
Bronco Roundup Keys to the Game, brought to you by your local Bronco Motors Hyundai dealers.
Time now for our keys to the game. Our first key to the game tonight is to make UW one-dimensional on offense. It might sound weird, but make Jacob Eason beat you with his arm.
The Huskies are only 5-2 when their running back rushes for at least 70 yards. Keep them under that.
Our second key to the game tonight is for Curtis Weaver to follow in the footsteps of Leighton Vander Esch's performance in the Las Vegas Bowl 2 years ago when he put on a show in his final game in a Bronco uniform.
Our final key to the game, send the Seniors off in style with a big win. We wrap up the show right after this.
Bronco Nation, you shared your game day traditions. KTVB and Mountain America Credit Union congratulate Leah Shaw. She just won a 65-inch 4K Smart TV. Game Day Traditions, presented by Mountain America Credit Union.
That'll do it for us. It has been a fun season here on the Bronco Roundup Game Day Show. Brother, I've appreciated everything. We'll see you after the game with highlights. Enjoy the 2019 Las Vegas Bowl.